the valve is sunken in way further on this one than it is over here. This one's protruding up above. And what happens there is, I got a pretty sweet example right here of a valve that has just been, it's gone. It's been toasted. It is. This is what it should look like right here. And this one has like a knife edge right here. You can cut yourself, it's so sharp. But it's supposed to have a nice round edge, margin is what they call it, right here in a solid 45-degree face. What these things do is they just pound into the head, and at, like, we've seen it as soon as 80,000 miles to about 120 or further, where these valves just pound out. And then it causes a misfire in one cylinder. You know, and just, it'll happen on one cylinder head where you get that misfire. And but we know, because we've done enough of these, that your other head's going to have one of these valves that are pounded in. These other valves here are going to have slight signs of that, you know. And when we rebuild these, we put in these newer valves that are a little better material that aren't going to have that same issue. And what we've done is we've bought a cylinder head from a parts store that we're going to pull out and look over and see how good of a job they've done with their rebuild. We'll kind of critique it, if you will. Let's pull that head out and take a look. Yeah. So I think there's a difference in quality when you got a shop like ours where we, you know, are working on one set of heads or a couple set of heads at the same time. You know, we got to put a little more attention to detail and a little higher quality rebuilds than places that just pump these out by the hundreds. You know, and that, what I'm seeing here is that right here on this intake valve, you can see there's like a reflection of light on the edge of the valve, almost like somebody taking it to a grinder and ground down the edge of that thing, which is really odd for a rebuilt head. Like we use all new valves on the intake. I don't think these are new valves, especially with that kind of grinding there. And then if you come over here a little bit and look at this valve, it almost looks like the same issue we were looking at in that burnt out head, where the valve is seated so deep in this thing that you know, it can't be right. There's obviously something wrong. I'd almost say they're using a valve that's been pounded in like the one I showed you earlier. So what we're going to do next is we're going to pull this valve out and probably pull all the intake valves out and take a look and see what is actually going on here. I'm going to grab a couple of rags so I don't scratch up that surface. We'll take off the cam and rocker assembly, and we'll pull some of these valves out and see what we got going. Another thing that I've noticed with these heads is like they paint them. I mean, we go through the process of glass cleaning these things up, glass beating it, so you're looking at bare metal. And I suppose there's nothing wrong with painting it, but it just gives it a different, I'd almost say, lower quality look. You know, I don't know if you guys can tell from the video here, but there's definitely been just some aluminum colored spray paint that they've sprayed on this thing to make it look like, almost like it's brand new, but there's definitely paint and covering up any kind of dirt and debris flaws that they might have. But yeah, let's pull this cam off and we'll get to that valve. Just going to take all these lifters out. Does look like they use new lifters. I'll give them credit there. These little clips that they have here, they're just, the lifters are supposed to hang on to those little puppies. So these must be worn out here because they're just falling right off the lifter. Yep. Should hang on like that. Now this little clip will hold an edge on those lifters and hold them in place. This one just popped right off. So it's a little concerning there. Alrighty, let's take it over to our other machine. We'll start popping some valves out. Just going to pop the keeper and retainers out of this thing so we can get a good look at that seat contact area. Alrighty, that should do it. Just pull these springs out. We did use blue Viton seals, which I like to see. That's what we try to use on pretty much all of our rebuilds. That blue Viton has a pretty high heat rate. I think it's about 450 degrees. Which I mean, if your head's above that temperature, you got some other issues. Right, let's pull it over here while I take a look. So this is the one that we were concerned about. I'm gonna pop that one out and see what's going on here. Holy crap. So I don't even know what what they were thinking there. I mean, they just obviously took one of these valves, like I was showing you before, that's been just beaten to heck and wasted, and they just ground it down. I mean, they didn't even ground it flush to where the 45 is going to work. Your stem height has to be way off. I mean, there's looser valve spring. I have no idea what was going through their heads when they rebuilt this thing. This is just ridiculous. I mean, I thought it was going to be bad, but I did not think they would reuse a valve like that. That is just insane. Wonder what the other valves are looking like. There's this one down here that you can see has had the edge kind of ground down here, like we were showing earlier. But again, you just got, they're taking a valve and they're grinding the whole thing till there's a 45 on it, which is just insane. It shrinks your outside diameter. I've never seen anything like this, and I've been doing this for quite some time. Like, this is just ridiculous. No pride or value in your work whatsoever when you're grinding valves like this. Like, that is just unbelievable. And I imagine the rest of the valves are going to be somewhat similar. I mean, this one's a little better. It's almost looking close to what a new valve is. And, you know, I imagine this grind of a valve would work for a little bit of time, but you're using the crappy material of valve here, and you're not upgrading to a better quality valve, which is necessary when you got issues like this. My mind is blown right now. I've never seen anything like this. And this is why it's a good practice to pull apart these heads and get a chance to look at them when they're, you know, coming from bulk rebuild part stores and stuff like that. I mean, I couldn't swallow doing this here at our shop. That is just shoddy work. They gotta know the issues with this head. I mean, they're grinding the valves. It's just something they're not addressing. I mean, when we rebuild a head like this, we address the bulletins, the technical bulletins, and we fix the problem. We don't put a band-aid on it or duct tape it. And this is really kind of outrageous that they'd even do this. I mean, this head, we paid full value for it to get a rebuilt cylinder head, and we just got some cut rate knockoff of a rebuilt cylinder head that cut corners, and I'm just baffled. But anyways, I guess that's what you get when you buy from people that don't have pride in their work, you know. I guess that's all we got for our video today. Thank you for subscribing. Hit that like button if you like what we showed you today, and hit that bell notification as well to get all our notifications for our video. That's all we got for today. Have a great day.